Hi, I'm the math guy, Steve. Let's try evaluating this integral. So when evaluating integrals like this is a definite integral, but it involves secants and tangents. And so when evaluating like that, we want to look for the du, see if the du is in that integrand. Okay, so like here, if I know the derivative of secant is secant tangents, and I see a secant tangent that I can kind of pull off here, right? And so this becomes, so let du be the secant of x tan of x. Okay, then we know that, of course, u is the secant of x. So now I have u, I have the du already in the problem. We can also change our limits of integration here because this is a definite integral. So like here, when x equals pi over 4, that upper integral, then we know that u equals the secant of pi over 4, okay? Remember, the secant is the reciprocal of the cosine. The cosine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2, so the secant there is just root 2, okay? So that becomes just root 2. And then when x equals 0, so our lower limit is 0, we can change that, and we know that u equals the secant of 0, okay? So let's think, we know the cosine at 0 is 1, so the secant is the reciprocal of that, so the secant at 0 is just 1, okay? So this becomes our sub-bubble, or our subble, okay? All right, okay? And now we can plug in those things into our integral, and it's hopefully it's an easier integral to integrate. Let's try it. So now our new limits of integration are from 1 to root 2. So we know this becomes, okay, the integral from 1 to root 2. Remember the secant, it was a secant tangent that we pulled off to be our du, right? So that's going to be one of those secants along with the tangent becomes the du, and there's a secant squared left over. So that's our u squared, okay? Again, a lot easier integral to integrate. So we know the integral of u squared du is just 1/3 u cubed. 1/3 u cubed. Normally we put a plus c, except now this is a definite integral, so we're going to plug in our limits of integration by our fundamental theorem of calculus, okay? So if I plug in root 2 for u, so that's, okay, 1/3. Root 2 cubed is 2 root 2, okay? Minus, and then if I plug in 1, we get 1/3 of 1, okay? That just gives us 2 root 2 minus 1 all over 3, and that becomes our evaluation of this integral. So again, when integrating secants and tangent combinations, look for that du kind of in the integrand and see if we can pull that off and try to make the rest of it in terms of u, okay? Then hopefully it's not easier integral to integrate. We can use a u substitution there, okay? That's what you should do, okay? Always remember, math is everywhere.